We are hot.
Teacherette. You going to say it?
No.
That's what I thought. Warning, this podcast may contain bad language and content that some listeners may find offensive.
You've nailed that.
Yeah, I'm getting good at it now.
Yeah. Episode 69. Nice.
Oh man, I didn't realise it was 16.
There won't be any double entendres or entendre the Giants.
How do you feel this is going so far?
I instantly regret saying that. It wasn't funny. It wasn't clever, as my mother would say.
It's weird that you would go to your mother on an episode that's all about 69ing. Welcome to Seesaw Podcast with T and Cleves.
Each week, offering up a blurry perspective on life. Welcome to Seesaw Towers, floor 69.
We've gone down a few.
We have gone down a few, but it is fitting for the episode number.
What, going down? Nice.
Well, do you really go down? Like, you're sort of like flipping.
Mate, you're going down on each other, aren't you?
True, but doesn't it balance out?
No. You're both down, alright? That's how it works. How are things with you this week?
Fine.
Good.
I have been busy with work, getting back. Or what's just hit the table. Getting back to things.
So many great things for the listeners here.
Yeah, I know.
Describe more of your bodily actions.
Well,
This is you shuffling on the seat. Maybe I should keep in one of your 20 yawns this time rather than Xing them out.
Now you said the word yawn, I really want to yawn. I'm going to fight that urge. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Anything new with Cleves?
No.
You see, the thing is, we save all the witty banter for the slide, so if you haven't already, go to Patreon and the link in the show notes.
And we save all the lies for the regular show.
Yeah. You get, I don't know, the zero sugar seesaw on the mainstream, and then if you want that full fat goodness, go to the slide. Wow. Although, if you get the full fat goodness, you're not fitting down that slide. Have you ever been to a theme park where someone got stuck in the tube?
No.
Now, I worked in a leisure centre, and it was a yearly occurrence that a bloke would get stuck in one of our slides.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it did.
This is bullshit. You are full of shit. No one got stuck in the tube. You would have told me this before if someone got stuck in the tube.
No, there were people who did get...
How do they pop them out with a giant plunger?
No. Let's say stuck. They used to slow to a stop and then have to sort of like try and find a way down. Like they had no speed at all, and it was just like the large surface area of them.
Yeah, you're like bum scooch down.
Yeah, but some of them were just rubbish at it. And
send down a few kids after them.
You can't really
knock them down.
That. You can't do that. That's what they're waiting for.
Gross. A mid-slide child molestation.
It's going to have happened once, isn't it?
What, at your gym?
Well, anywhere in the world.
On your watch? Whilst you were in the slide?
No. God damn it.
Look, just filling in your blanks for you.
I had to fill in my blanks, mate.
Well, you fired him already.
That's what 69ing's for, mate.
What, frost in a child's face?
Oh, fucking Christ. Fucking hell. We go from bland to grossly offensive.
Welcome back.
Well, right, let's just take a random shot at someone, shall we?
Do you want to take a shot at R&IB? They're always good for a shot. They're shit. I don't think we've ever outright said it before, but are they good? Who knows? Future episode.
Stephen seemed to think they were. He worked with them, so.
Yeah.
But
have you ever worked a job you don't like?
What do you think I'm doing now? How about you?
Oh, yeah, I've worked jobs I don't like.
Is your current job one of those?
Well, I don't mind my job in the minute. It's okay. I mean, if you can go to work and not hate your job, that's pretty decent, right?
Well, that's how I outright hate my job. I'm just indifferent to it. But there's days where I hate it.
Everyone has those. Unless you're a scumbag blind person that doesn't work. Maybe I shouldn't have said the word scumbag.
Oh, you said it now.
What I meant was scumbag blind people that choose not to work, as opposed to those that are legit trying to find a job and haven't yet. Those people I've actually got respect for.
Yeah. But shall we get away from this negativity?
Yeah, what you got for me?
Well, I've got some quick blind news. Baby. You're going to keep that in, aren't you?
Every time you do one of these, you know it's going to be kept in at some point. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but you know it's going to appear at some point.
I know.
It's in my back catalogue called Tease Sound Effects.
Did you actually have that?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Oh, God.
Did you hear that sweet...
On the last episode, the static?
Yeah.
I certainly did. It was awful. I didn't know what was happening at the time. I was like, oh, yeah, I did that.
You actually did two of them. That was the longer of the two.
I bet it was. You're such a shit bag. Fucking hate you sometimes, man. So, quick blind news. Bruce Willis has retired from acting because now he's a member of the Crip Squad.
Is he blind?
No, he
It's
has...
not really quick blind news then, is it?
He's aphasia.
He's a what? A Frasier?
He
The
has
guy from Cheers?
He's got aphasia.
Is it just a phase he's going through, or...?
I assume it isn't. And the blind part refers to me, not the news.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Does the quick part also refer to you as well? As it
Absolutely. I'm quick at everything. Folding towels,
69
making
in.
noodles, sex.
Sometimes you just got things to do, ain't you?
You've got to get it done, mate. Just blam it out.
Just mark it off the list in a way, get on with your day.
God damn it, blam it out. What a vulgar fucking saying.
Not that we're going back to the incident on the slide or anything.
No. Imagine that conversation. You're allowed to blam one out quickly. I imagine it's a guy named Terry who has a van. Blam one out in the bathroom.
What's the worst thing you've ever had to clean out of the slides? Or the pool, actually, let's say. Did anyone, take a dump down the slides and then follow it down?
Yeah.
No.
Not follow it down, but people have had a shit down the slide. Yeah. Happened quite a lot.
Oh, man.
Vomit as well, where kids would get scared and they'd puke, and then they'd puke down the slide.
I was sick in the pool when I was a kid. My parents took me out because I was ill. Then I seemed okay, so they took me back in and I was sick again. True story.
Your parents are the worst.
I don't know how old I was. I was pretty young, but apparently it happened. Right, here's my quick blind news.
Go for it.
Oh, shit, I can't remember what my quick blind news was. Oh, I remember what happened. Right, so there was some protest in Chile, and then some guy got blinded by... What even is that?
It's just like taking your time music. Go on, Chile.
Guy in Chile got shot with rubber bullets, now he's blind.
Oh, fuck.
Police shot him.
Fuck.
At protest.
Sucks, man. How the guy gets his eyes back.
Well, that was quick blind news.
That one wasn't as enthusiastic.
It wasn't, was it?
That's kind of lame. So, Cleves, it's been 69 episodes. And at this point, we're resorting to doing a top 10 list.
Oh, it's good when we come to this.
Yeah, well, we can't have a guest.
We should have done a shout out. We should have done a top 19 list for the crimes that I'm drinking because it was on offer.
It was on offer.
Fuck you, 19 crimes. Eat a dick.
Yep, it was on offer. And I had my student discount.
There's a person I want to take a shot at. 19 crimes. Goes to suck a fat one.
Still not go back to you.
Bumhole. No, they're too busy licking anuses, I assume.
Fucking hell. Shots fired. Bang, bang. Those are the crimes. So, Cleves, what are we top 10ing today?
Some, tips? Just the tip for the 69 episode. Tips for...
10 tips coming at you. Top 10 tips.
We said we weren't going to do the sexual innuendos, and we've kind of careered into it.
Creamed into it.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. Okay, let's kick it off. So these are in no particular order. They're just our thoughts.
It's a top 10 list for living a happy blind life. How positive is that? Good, right?
Super positive. HIV positive.
I knew that was going there.
Okay, hit me with number 1, Cleves.
Number 1! Would you like to explain why you've chosen this?
Okay. So we covered this in our Breakfast at Tiffany's episode. Heat-proof gloves, great in the kitchen. And don't get the oven gloves or any of that shit. They're bollocks.
You want barbecue gloves?
Yeah. Basically the barbecue gloves with the individual fingers in them, because then you can flip a steak or a chicken breast and do everything on the hob, and they're just so useful. And you can actually feel what you're fucking doing. And by all means, cut your veggies in them if you want that little bit of protection, because they are quite rugged as well. So,
also, if you have a log burner, then you can just chuck logs on it, and the flames will just be not touch you because you've got the gloves.
Like when I'm putting an extra log on the fire
and gifts on the tree,
I just put my hand straight in there. Like I don't even think about the flames. Just like, okay.
So despite the fire and the flames, you carry on.
Yep. So quick, concise one there. They don't cost a lot. They're like 10 quid on Amazon. Genuinely useful tip there.
Stop you from burning your hands.
So in 2, we have knowing how to use your mobility aids. So whether you're a long cane user, guide dog user, a user of carers or people, know how to use your mobility aids, because as Cleves will attest to, my cane skills are fucking terrible. And that also means that I'm a danger to myself and others when I'm using my cane. But I think knowing how to use these things, if we look back to it, I think these are really important skills to have. Because otherwise, how are you going to do well? Go to your council, go to guide dogs, get that extra training. Got to stay on top of that shit. Do it, Gary.
You know the irony in what you're saying, right?
Oh, 100%. I'm good with my dog.
Yeah, but between the dogs, you didn't bother to learn, did you?
Oh, no, it was fucking awful. But I was also working from home, so there wasn't really a reason to do it. So,
well, what happens if you want to go out somewhere?
Well, I had my wife.
So what you're saying is don't use your mobility aids. Don't get trained on them. Rely on other people.
No, because no one wants to be like me.
Wow.
I'm unique, baby.
If we come back to the mobility aids, if you learn how to use them properly, it will inspire confidence in you, and you will be able to go out and do things independently despite other people.
Exactly. Well summarised, Mr. Cleves.
Thanks.
You didn't have to be condescending about it, but well done.
I don't know how else to be. It's just my accent.
Your default flavour. Here's your number 3.
Be organised.
So, organisation. Everyone puts on their CV, and it's like, I'm a good communicator. Means absolutely fucking nothing on a CV. Some other disregarding, you just don't really give a shit. But seriously, being organised as a VIP/blind person, really important. Like, organise your life, get a good calendar system, but then also organise your house. Know where things are. So, you're not having to search for things all the fucking time. Extra hidden tip here. Get the same socks. Don't fuck around with all these seasonal weird socks. Just find a sock that's comfortable, throw out all your socks every 6 months and just buy new ones.
I mean, arguably, if you're totally blind, all your socks are the same.
Yeah, but you don't want to look like a scumbag, do you?
Maybe you were just trying to... Maybe that's a fashion thing. You go out wearing 2 different socks, man.
Yeah, but no one's going to think that if you're blind. They're going to think, oh, bless them, they couldn't find 2 matching socks. They won't see the irony of it.
Yeah, that is unfortunately true, yeah. I'll give you that.
So, find socks that you like and just buy shitloads of them. And that goes out to organisation. Like, these little things really do help. So, organise. Food cupboards. Do that as well. Food cupboards. Make sure all the stuff is in order. Now, I don't do that, but I have residual vision. So
well, hang on a second. Is this going to be one of these things, top 10 tips for organising your life and living a happy blind life, of which you do none of them? Is that the caveat? Is that where the brackets is?
I have heat-proof gloves.
You do have heat-proof gloves, that's true. I just don't use them. I like to get my hands burnt.
Not always. Sometimes I can't find them because I'm not organised. Then it happens, unfortunately.
Okay, next up. Rinse the system. The governmental system and all the systems you possibly can. For example, bus pass. If you don't have one, get one. The same with a...
CEA card. It's a good one to have.
Yeah, for the cinema. £10 a year. Do you good? Although I don't, if you're blind, I'm not sure how many movies you go watch. Yeah, you can get a lot of audio described films now. It's pretty good.
Blue badges.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what the correct word for that was.
Yeah, blue badges, pretty good. I had to park pretty much everywhere. If you live in a city as well, like blue badge, even if you don't drive, which you won't if you're VIP, just get one and keep it in your bag. Like you'll never know when it comes in handy because it allows you to just park anywhere. It's helpful for people around you. So do that. Get one. You can get an access card as well if you want, I suppose.
We're saying rinse the system. Don't waste your time.
And on the rinse the system, just don't be a scumbag and that's not get every benefit you possibly fucking can get. That's not what we mean.
No. I mean, if you need a carer to get around a concert venue or whatever, go see all the gigs you want, but make sure you get that carer ticket.
Yeah. That sort of stuff's fine. Not get employment support allowance and shit like that and housing benefit and all this bollocks. We're not saying that. We're not saying rinse the system in that way. Rinse the system for things that you're paying into or to enable you to be a person who gives to society. Good tip, Cleves. Good tip.
Title of my sex tape.
Next tip. Number 6. I think
5, actually.
Number 5. Know how to use appliances. Now, this sounds like a really stupid thing to say, but what I'm going to say is don't rely on all the accessible, like you can get accessible ovens and microwaves and blah, 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 blah. But if you get an idea of roughly how these work without using things like bump dots, by all means use those around your house, but get an idea about how these work, because washing machines are generally always the same. Ovens are generally always the same. So get used to using the appliances and just don't rely on this accessible tech. Try and find ways around it if you can, because in the real world, you don't always have that there. Like at my work, like my microwave is like completely different. But it's like, where's the quick setting, like the quick cook? So learn that that's like the thing to go to at home. Like you might be able to do some weird, crazy shit on the one at home, but that doesn't really matter. Like you need to understand these ideas so you can go out into the world and then do what you need to do without insisting your employer gets like accessible cups and shit. Like,
what's an accessible cup?
I don't know, got one of those water level things inside it.
I wouldn't want my balls to be swimming in that.
I don't even think those are things. The level indicators are, but I don't think they're built into cups. But yeah, know how to use your shit, basically. Don't be an incapable blind person.
Yeah, you don't have to be that person.
Relying on everyone to do all your bits and bobs.
All right. In 6.
I would have said 6.
Yeah, well, you were wrong. Do you know how I know that?
Because it's on the notes.
It is indeed. All right, in 6.
In 60.
Get a purpose. I said get a raison d'etre, but I had to dumb that down for T earlier because he didn't know what that was.
Because it's French.
And it means reason to be.
You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so you can't just, if you're a person, blind or not, I would argue, you can't just sit around all day doing fuck all, because then what have you got to look forward to? What have you got to aim for? What have you got to be proud of? What have you achieved? All of these things, arguably all these things contribute to a good mental health. If you don't go out and start doing this shit, then, you're just going to kind of sink into this quagmire.
Good word.
Thanks. I'll dumb it down for you though. Swamp.
You bastard.
Of negativity. Okay. So, what I mean by get a purpose is try and find things that you like doing. Hobbies, interests, a job. Maybe set yourself some targets, shit that you want to
achieve.
Yeah.
Yeah, like fitness, or maybe like you want to be the best at doing like guitar and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Doing guitar, definitely.
Yeah.
Or even if it's just like, maybe it's like a holiday that you want to go on. You think, I've got to save X amount to get to this holiday, and then you can go on holiday. Stuff to shoot for, stuff to aim at, other than a child's face. And
make these things manageable as well. If you're thinking, oh, I want to lose 10 stone in a year, well, it's not going to fucking happen. So be realistic.
Might do if you starve yourself every day.
Yeah, but
work out like a bitch.
Yeah, but we're doing the gas and water diet that Cleves would like you to do. But be realistic with it. Things will happen, and you can get to that final goal. Break it into smaller goals, because it does make a big difference. But yeah, that's really important. Like those goals, those landmarks, those targets, because it gives you purpose. Like Cleve said, don't just be a bum sitting along coasting through life, because then before you know it, you will have depression and anxiety.
It'll creep up on you.
It will. And unfortunately, if you get depression, you're kind of stuck with it for life. It doesn't really ever go away. It can come roaring back through any sort of triggers. So if you haven't got that on your shoulder now, try and keep it away from you. And if you have got it, keeping busy is a really good way of dealing with it. Just don't sit in bed, which can be hard sometimes, I know. But
preach, brother.
Yes.
That was the whitest I could say that, because I didn't want to sound racist.
That is completely fair. Leading on from that, number 7.
Oh, you've learned numbers.
I have. And I've also been paying attention. Get a fucking job.
Wow.
So, this sort of goes in with the last point we said. There is no reason for a visually impaired or blind person to not be working. Don't throw excuses around and say, oh, but I'm different. No, you're not fucking different. If you have other medical issues, and we don't know everyone's situation, but you have other medical issues going on, like, okay, I can't speak for that. And I will say, depression, nope, you're not getting away with that either, because I've suffered from depression. Clee's had mental health issues as well. We're both visually impaired, quite severely so. And it's like, we have jobs. We have careers. And I've changed career multiple times, and so have you, haven't you? Like, you've done multiple things.
Changing careers is strong.
But you've done multiple industries, haven't you?
Yes.
So there's no fucking excuse. Don't say, oh, I'm blind, I can't do anything.
I fear, like, on this podcast sometimes, after doing this for a year, that we too easily flaunt the fact that we have jobs, but it wasn't easy getting a job in the first instance. And also for other people, it can take significantly longer, I would argue, particularly if you have less sight. But don't give up, guys.
No, and skill yourself for the jobs that you will be able to do.
Oh, this is a good one from you, mate, with your retraining.
I didn't know what I wanted to do. I got qualified, I got a degree, blah, 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 and there was no other jobs. And I was whacking my head against the wall for jobs that were not there. So I re-qualified to jobs that were fucking there. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh, well, I really want to do that, and there's no jobs coming up, and I never get the jobs, look for other stuff. There's fucking loads out there. And okay, you'll have a lot of disappointment. It will take time. But as soon as you're like, I only want to be a graphic designer, that's all I know, it's all I'm good at. Well, you know what? You can have a hard fucking time of it. Broaden out, and then you can be specific when you're working.
Have some backup cash in your pocket. Lord knows the bills are up.
Exactly.
Although if you've not got a job, you're probably not paying those bills, are you? I know you will be. The government will be paying for it.
Like the energy, they will be.
Yeah, that's a point.
There'll be no doubt some fucking bursary announcement to allow the sponges to still survive.
This is old school where we're taking needless shots. All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay, hit us with the next one.
Number 8. Always pick up after your guide dog.
There's no reason not to pick up after your guide dog, basically.
Even if you're out on the streets and you don't have to?
You legally don't have to, but it's good manners to at least attempt to. Like, even if you don't find all the chunks, make an effort. You know roughly where your dog was. Like, no one has to stay in shit.
Here's what I think. If you, let's say you walk to a shop, right, and your guide dog goes for a shit, and you don't pick it up, and you come back and you stand on it, karma, baby.
Yep.
Also, if you don't pick it up in your back garden, you're just going to be wandering around, possibly standing in shit all the time. Also, it's gross, so pick it up.
100%. Always pick up the shit.
Would you like to mention a particular incident?
If you do pick up shit as well, don't mistake that for the treat bag.
Okay.
Or you might have catastrophic consequences to that.
Here's my question, though. Let's say you get handed a bag full of shit. Firstly, for some reason, you haven't noticed the warmth of said shit. Secondly, you've not looked inside the bag as you dip in your hand.
Or notice the smell.
Or notice the smell and think, oh, this must be a bag full of treats. Doesn't seem like the usual bag I would use for treats.
Or shape.
Seems more like a shit bag. But no, you reach in and grab a handful of shit. Who does that?
Man, a fucking maniac does that.
Weird.
And then that same maniac asks for hand sanitizer as if this is something that regularly happens.
Do you not carry it all the time? I mean,
in my work bag I do, but that's a rare occasion.
Yeah, it's not COVID anymore. We don't need to hand sanitize like we used to.
Yeah, just spit on it. Best sort of disinfectant.
Right.
Okay, number 9. Own it. Own your disability. Just be you. I'm not saying you have to make that your identity.
You do you, my G.
Thanks, Tom. Okay, so owning it. Don't be ashamed of who you are. You don't have to let your disability define you. It is a part of you, yes, but you don't have to make that be the thing that defines you. And I think some disabled people and blind people will allow that to become so much entrenched a part of their identity that then they'll take offense at everything that goes up against that. And that's when you start getting like shouty on Twitter and social media, like, oh, the bus doesn't have like yellow strips on the chairs for me to find them, blah, 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 blah. It's like, who fucking cares? The world ain't doing that for you. It's just when people take that identity to an extreme and use that in a negative way.
Well, okay, I do actually agree with this. However, just to give a different side, Selena the other week said that sometimes we don't challenge things enough, in the sense that society should be probably doing these things. And I'm sort of inclined to agree, but I also think you should learn to live with what you have whilst challenging it.
I agree with that to an extent, but what I will say is blind and disabled people, we've touched on this before in other episodes, they are so inclined to just take things that society has no stake in, or be unreasonable adjustments, I would say, and they will make those like the whole, I'm not happy about this, society should be better. And it's like, no, there's got to be give and take here. And I think sometimes disabled people forget that there is that balance to be made. They expect the world to be accessible for every permutation of disability, and it's just not going to fucking happen. You need to be willing to accept that that's the case.
Yeah, so if it's not accessible, you kind of just have to get around it and own your shit. Style it out, do the best you can.
If it's such a big extreme, then kick up a fuss about it. But don't take every little thing and kick off about it. Don't be a Gary.
I think on this own it thing as well, I spent a lot of time of my life being quite embarrassed about my disability. It wasn't till probably my mid-20s that I stopped caring. But if you can stop doing that, then that's part of owning it.
I mean, it's not going away for a lot of people. Just embrace it.
As soon as you do, the better.
Yep.
But, there's like you say, there's a balance of embracing what it is and not making it your entire existence.
Yeah.
You are not a disability that is merely a part of you.
You can be, a guitar player, a chef, a paedophile. There's many parts of you, Greg. You're a cornucopia of sadness.
Jesus.
And our final tip.
Don't be a paedophile.
That's okay, we'll give that as a bonus tip. But I don't think we should have to say that. Final tip, number 10. Close the fridge, because if you don't, it's a cardinal sin.
Oh, cardinal sin.
It's been a while since we've fucking done that.
It hasn't, it's been like 2 episodes.
Great. Great. Shame me. Shame me all over my face.
I'm Lionel.
And there are your top tips.
Most fridges these days have a fridge alarm, so if you leave
Mine
it open...
doesn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's this piece of cheap shit.
Well, don't leave it open then.
I don't.
Good. Because your stuff will start to go warm.
That's why I don't do it. I don't want warm ham.
Close the fridge is also the title of your mum's sex tape.
Yeah, well, it'd be, close the fridge.
Is that first part people just gagging when it's left open?
Yep.
Gross.
We're talking the fridge here.
Yes.
Okay. That disgusting ending. I'm sorry, Mum. I know you don't listen, but come on. If you ever hear this one, I love you. Just cleaves the fucking cunt.
There's no need for that language.
I feel I had to balance the horrificness against my mother there with a horrible word. If you have top tips, let us know on Reddit.
Send us pictures of your tips.
I won't acknowledge them either, but I will read them.
You won't acknowledge them?
Sometimes I upvote things.
Now who's the C-bomb?
Me.
Send us your feedback. We want to see your tips.
And listen to the slide. For love of God, please.
Wow.
It's only £3 a month. Come on.
£3? That's a lot.
That's not.
Can we do it for £1?
Okay, we can do it for £1. If you agree to £1.
I agree to £1.
We'll drop it to £1. 69.
I'll agree to £1. Title of your mother's follow-up sex tape.
No, your bastard would be on the end. Well, as always, Cleves, it has been a test of my humanity and patience. but I will see you again.
We live together, so we got no choice.
Next episode will be episode 69.
You're really bad with numbers, aren't you? You can't do it.
I'm so bad with numbers. I never did school.
I got a maths GCSE.
It means nothing. It was quickly debunked by calculators. Well, next time we've got episode 70, and we don't know what it's going to be yet, but it will probably be one of our mini-series.
Yeah, we have done a lot now.
Let us know what you'd like to hear more of.
Pointless intros!
Love a pointless intro. And a super long train at the end of the episode. Right. Catch you later, Cleves.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the Seesaw Podcast.
You can find us on Twitter at Seesaw Pod, Facebook, Reddit, Instagram and YouTube at Seesaw Podcast. You can also email us at seesawpodcast@gmail.com. Like, rate, review, subscribe, and then you can also find us on TikTok, but get us on all the other places. This podcast was recorded in front of a blind audience. Where the fuck is my arrow? Oh yeah, it's a fucking touch screen.